So me, 26M, and my girlfriend Marissa, 27F, have been together for 3.5 years. We have a wonderful relationship and she truly is my best friend. We have been having some roadblocks pop up recently, however, which has led to some beef with her family. So I want a prenup. It's always something I've wanted in a marriage. Marissa is super against them. We are working through it, but it's a very sensitive topic. Marissa vents to her sisters a lot about her life and the prenup issue has come up in. Her whole family is aware of the situation and they aren't very happy about it. They feel like they've always treated me like family, so the fact I'm doubting Marissa is offensive to them. They are very traditional people. I've tried explaining that it isn't a trust issue, it's a numbers game. And I'm just trying to protect myself, like I was in the principal's office or something. She started lecturing me on trust in a relationship and how I needed to pull my head out of my ass. I told her I wouldn't be discussing the relationship with her and stood up to leave. Jen said, "No, sit down and let's hash this out." My girlfriend tried to tell her sister to back down. Jen said she was fed up with my attitude towards the prenup and tired of me treating her sister like a gold digger. I told her that our relationship was none of her business and she needed to drop it. Jen said this, "You are such an idiot and are gonna ruin your relationship. You have no idea how to have a successful relationship. And it's because of your attitude." I looked at her and said, "I'm not gonna sit here and be given relationship pointers by a woman with 2 baby daddies and no ring. Check yourself." I immediately left the room and went back to my bedroom. Marissa came in a few minutes later saying her sister left in tears, and I owed her an apology. I told her absolutely not. If she wanted to get personal and involve herself in others' relationships, then she opens herself up. That she can't throw stones without expecting some returning fire. I told Jen to stop and she kept going. My girlfriend said she told Jen to not speak on our situation anymore, but would like me to apologize. We wrote this post together to get a fair version and verdict. AITA. Not an idiot. Jen tried to treat you like a child in your own home. She had zero right to get in the middle of this. And yes, if someone tries to butt in to tell people what they should do with their life, they should absolutely expect to find their own life decisions under a microscope. And you certainly do not need to be taking advice from someone who is in the situation you described, as they obviously have made some not great choices. You do not owe her sister an apology, but she owes you one. Okay, great, so you are both reading this together. So you, OP, are not an idiot. You, girlfriend, are the asshole. Why? Because you allowed your sister to order your boyfriend around in his own home, told him to sit down, and lecture him about his relationship, which she has no business doing. You, girlfriend, should have told Jen to stop and leave, but you didn't. You know your family is overly involved in your relationship and it seems like you actually want that. You wanted your sister to fight your battle for you, and since you didn't stop her, it seems like you plan to have your sister confront your boyfriend in his own home, because you didn't stop her when you had the full ability to do so. OP, this relationship isn't going to work. Not because you disagree about a prenup, but because your partner doesn't respect your relationship, and her family certainly doesn't respect your relationship. If her family is this overly involved in this issue, how do you think they will be when you disagree about other things? Where to buy a house, money in general, all of the stuff that comes up about raising children. Her sister told you that you failed at relationships when you have been with her sister for almost 4 years, and your partner didn't even bother to defend you. That's how your whole life will be with these people. By the way, I am in no way basing my judgment on whether a prenup is good or bad. I think it is like having children, there is no right or wrong answer. Just the two people doing it need to figure it out and agree together. But the fact that you two can't agree and her entire family is involved in trying to force you to drop it when you have legitimate, rational reasons for wanting one is a big red flag about how overly involved they will be. It is also a flag about how manipulative your girlfriend is, because she is absolutely encouraging her family to treat you this way in your own home, and will use them this way anytime you two disagree on other issues in the future. Run, OP, run. Not an idiot. People who live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. She overstepped and you checked her. Truth hurts. Not an idiot, you have a point. Also, huge red flags are flying. Your GF is running to her family with intimate relationship matters. Do you want a marriage with her family or one person? Because you are marrying her whole family apparently, and they will be involved in every decision from here on out. Not an idiot, Jen had absolutely no right. Fuck around and find out, as they say, and quite frankly, your girlfriend needs to watch what she decides to share with others, or at least how in depth. Also, if you guys are so confident that getting married is right for you, then why is signing a prenup such a big deal? Like, unless someone is afraid it's not going to work out, it shouldn't be an issue. Clearly one or both of you are having doubts about the longevity of it all. Hi, I'm 24F and have been dating my boyfriend, 26M, for 5 years now. We grew up together as neighbors and were friends for a couple years before dating. I love him so much, and I want to marry him. His family is great and I adore them all, and he's great with my family too. He also formed a great relationship with my sister, 21F. The issue is that I think their bond is too close. My BF and I live together, but he spends a lot of time with her. Albeit I am sort of busy, I'm currently in grad school for engineering, so I have to go to my classes. My BF works full-time. My sister is currently taking a gap year, but that 1 year has extended from when she was 18. She comes over when I'm in seminars/classes. They have tons of inside jokes and share the same sense of humor and taste in movies. It makes me feel left out, but when I try to include myself, they both stop being so enthusiastic and act like it's super awkward to have me there. My sister and I were close growing up, but started drifting when I went to uni. When my BF isn't there and I talk to her, she becomes kinda cold and sometimes says rude things. Once she told me to my face that I'm not good enough for him and that he deserves better, which made me cry for a couple days. He also gets her gifts for the most random achievements, like he got her a present for making it through the week. Even though she doesn't do anything, she isn't currently working or trying to pursue a hobby or interest, she's just taking it easy, her own words. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad my BF and my sister are friends, but my major problem is that my BF tells her everything. Literally everything. He tells her things he doesn't tell me, and talks to her about me and our relationship. She knows all our issues and good parts, to a level of detail that I wouldn't even tell my closest friends or parents. She even knows the grades I got on my midterms/finals and what I think about my manager. I work part-time to contribute to our apartment, but I also get paid for my research, which goes towards our needs as well, which I feel is unnecessary for her to know since I didn't tell her myself. I asked him to step back a bit and stop telling her things about me and our relationship, but he was shocked and told me that I'm an asshole for even requesting it. Now I feel guilty, so AITA? Not an idiot, but girl, this sounds like you're the sister of the girlfriend. Take a step back and reread all you wrote. You know something is wrong. Not an idiot. Trust your gut, OP. If something smells fishy, there's probably fish to be caught. They're both guilty of crossing too many boundaries, and there are an alarming amount of red flags popping up. It must be really awful to be in this position. Sorry for what you're going through, I hope this gets sorted out. Not an idiot. I agree with the fair comments. A colleague once told me a story on how if people of the opposite sex, or same sex, depends what you like, spend a lot of time together like these two are falling in love is bound to happen. That's just how it works, and that's why friends end up taking each other's partners and sisters and so on. She even made an example with her and best friend's man. As soon as they started spending too much time together, they started to develop feelings for each other, and she had to quickly cut it off before they went too far. By spending so much time together, you get to see how amazing the friend or sister or brother is, and then you start to think maybe you are with the wrong person. OP, if you don't want to leave, the best you can do is try and cut off that relationship that they currently have going on, because if they aren't having an affair already, they might as well be on their way to starting one soon. Okay, firstly, kudos on the triple bracket close out in the second paragraph, laughing face. Got to love an aside to an aside within an aside. But serious face. When I got through your first paragraph, I thought, oh, that's nice, your BF has a new best friend and it's your sister. Then I kept reading and... oh dear. Oh no. He deserves better. Firstly, that's cold. Secondly, this really sounds like she has feelings for him, maybe confused feelings, but there's definitely something there. I mean, you're her sister, why the hell would she say this? Then the third paragraph. We all know best friends tell each other stuff, but she's still your sister. Talking about your relationship with him to your sister is just not acceptable, regardless of what either of them are feeling. And the detail. Holy crab sticks. His reaction is a red flag. He's betrayed your trust and private life to your own sister, that's piss poor form. Breezed some of the comments, maybe there's something going on between them, maybe there isn't. Honestly couldn't say anything for sure other than your sister certainly has some kind of a thing for him. Even if it was strictly platonic, he's massively overstepping. His defensive response is also another red flag. Preface: if I come off as callous, it's because I'm trying to be succinct. I, 46F, have a 16-year-old daughter. In July, she was in a car accident. Most of her injuries were mild. She went to the hospital, but they let her go home after a few days of observation. But even after we got home, she still complained a lot about pain. I was concerned and took her to our GP, but they couldn't find anything wrong. I told her it was probably in her head and in response to the traumatic event and that she'd be fine in a few days. She stopped complaining about it after that and everything seemed good. Fast forward to yesterday and I got an email from her teacher that she's constantly despondent in class and laying her head down and not participating. I was already seeing red from that and I decided to check on her grades. She turned in multiple assignments late and lost points on them, which is not at all on par with her typical performance. I confronted her about it and she was really quiet at first, like she didn't know what to say. I pushed her on it and she started talking about pain again, which I frankly think is bullshit. She hasn't said a peep about it for 2 months, only when her grades are slipping. We started arguing about it and I said that her grades matter more than her pain. She's a junior this year, it is not the time to be slacking. She's been in her room since, refusing to talk to anyone. She wouldn't even go to school today. I'm at a loss, she's never been so difficult. And I'm questioning whether or not I'm in the right here. AITA. Edit, I get it, I'm an awful person. I wasn't seeing past the grades and I treated my daughter horribly. Thank you especially to the medical professionals who replied, I had no idea this could be so serious. I've already booked a specialist for 2 weeks from now, earliest appointment, and apologized to my daughter. I know I still have a lot of making up to do. I was left disabled after a car accident, but I was out of the in a couple hours. She was in for a couple days? How does OP not realize how serious that is? OP, why did you dismiss and ignore her pain? Why didn't her GP refer her to a pain specialist and neurologist? Why didn't you advocate for her? Fight for her. Women/girls are not treated as equals in the medical field. She needed you to believe her, and you told her it was in her head. Could you be any more dismissive and condescending? Do you know how many doctors said that to me? I was later told that my soft tissue damage would take longer to heal than if I'd simply broken my back. I already know your daughter has been in pain since the accident, but she didn't feel safe in telling you. What proof do I have? Her grades aren't normal for her. What a coincidence. Chronic pain leeches the joy from your soul. Being happy and lively take energy, and your daughter's is all going into trying to survive each day. She feels isolated, and has no hope that help will come. Depression sets in with the realization that her entire future looks different through the lens of chronic pain. What hope could she have when she can't even depend on mom to believe her? A lot of people don't survive their chronic pain, op. I don't know where I'd be if my mom didn't do everything you're failing to. She knew I wasn't okay, and she fought for me. She didn't stop. What will you lose by listening to your daughter and giving her the love and support she so desperately needs? Think of what you stand to lose if you don't. That part alone made me question if the post was even real. If you're staying for a few days after a car accident, it's serious. And of course she would still be in pain after getting home. Hospitals don't wait to release you until you're totally pain-free. Either she's a really horrible mother, or she's really not thinking clearly, or she's making crap up. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe for more AITA and revenge stories.